Hello guys and welcome back to another video. You guys are with Biffer as always. Today we're playing it on Plan B Terraform, where you start on a completely dead world and just try to bring it back to life. I've never played this game before. I have no idea what I'm doing, but apparently, I can build cities. I could, extract resources, somehow change the atmosphere. So yeah, let's see if we can actually make this place livable. We get to choose our planet name. I think we're just gonna go completely random. Oh my goodness, what did I just land on? Okay, we're not gonna go for that. Hello. Nagoja 412. Fantastic. F. I don't know why there's an F at the end. We're gonna keep everything normal. We're not gonna change any kind of settings. All right, you have been mandated to manage the resources of this newly discovered planet. You must bring supplies to the cities and manage terraform projects. Good luck. Fantastic. I think I'm gonna need some luck. And this is a very nice intro. So this is what our planet looks like. Okay, it doesn't look very livable from far, at least. This is our first city, New Bogota. Welcome to Nagoja 412F. Let's start by creating new extractors. All right, so they are going to tell us how to play and so on, I believe. I have watched 1 or 2 videos, so I do have a little bit of some information. So what happens is we are on this planet right here, and it's fantastic, isn't it? You can see the map at the top. And we have 3 cities. So we got New Dallas here, we have New Chicago right here, and we have New Bogota. They don't really look like anything. They just have this building for the moment. And you can see I have 9 population. So the population is of 9. I'm guessing 3 in each city. You can see by clicking down here, population is 3. Fantastic. And you can see at the top, so it's click to open the level progression panel. The aim is going to be to just go as far as we can in terms of levels. So you can see the first level here. New objectives: produce 5 extractors in an assembly plant. So extractors, I believe, are this thing. Extract minerals from the ground, and I believe we can create them through factories and assembly plants. So we're gonna go ahead and check that out. You have 3 main resources on this planet. 1 is here, 1 is here, and then 1 is right around here. So what we're gonna do is start kind of far from our resources. That's one thing I saw from our cities. Find a place maybe like nearby, like this one, or yeah, this one seems pretty cool. It has 3 of the main resources. So the first resource you have is sulfur right there. Second is iron ore, and then you've got right there, it should be aluminum or aluminum, however you want to say it. There is a 4th resource that is right here, fluorite. That we're going to use a little bit later on, I do believe. It relates to gas and so on. So what we're going to do is first create our first basically extraction point. So we're going to place down a couple of these extractors, I believe they're called. There we go, extractors. We're going to place some what do you call it? What do you call these? Depots. Depots are going to be placed down. So these are going to pick it up. And basically you can pick here, you click on E, what you want. So it's just going to pick up iron ore. And so all the iron ore that's being processed through here is just being deposited on here, which is fantastic. And then we can place a factory nearby next to it with creation of whatever we want. So here it can only create steel bar for the moment. It's going to create a load more later on. So you can see here, it's going to take out with drones, fantastic, the steel or the iron ore, sorry, and create it into steel. So it creates steel, and we do need a little new assembly point to go collect the steel bars. Fantastic. And then with these steel bars, I guess we can create our first little thing, which is right now to create extractors. So we're going to go ahead and do that. That basically assembly point is going to create extractors, and it's just going to give us some more extractors here, because you can see we're on 0 and we need that to go up. And you can see it needs 3 steel bars in order to go and create an extractor. It takes 30 days. You can see the time here. We are at 22nd of August of year 0 basically, and we could accelerate time as well. I think there we go. Let's go and accelerate time a little bit. We can pause as well. Oop, that is the wrong button. Pause is just space. There we go. And extractors are being created right now. That's fantastic, isn't it? It's just as simple as that. But what we are going to do is, well, whilst we wait for these 5 to get created, extractors are going to be important because we're going to need these guys in order to pick up our resources. What we are going to do is potentially create more what do you call it? More kind of lines like these. I don't know what you want to call them. Factory lines or whatever you want to call them. I don't have the vocabulary and I apologize for that. It is my first video on these types of games. What you can do, for example, is go like that and then just create more, like another little depot area, and then with a factory, boom, pick up the steel bars. These guys should be picking up the iron ore. You can check bottom right as well, or you can just open up with E. That's fantastic. We'll place a depot down here with the steel bars, and then we're going to go ahead and place an assembly point, and that's just going to create some depots, which is fantastic. And you can actually create as many as you want. So these are going to go ahead and create as much as they want over time. Let's accelerate a little bit. It's not actually going to matter because you got resources, but they are unlimited, so it's never going to stop. I can just zoom out, go somewhere else, and go back to my city. I don't know if you can click. You can click. Fantastic. I can go back to Chicago. Oh, we've passed the first level. Sorry. Good start. Now you can build new factories. Fantastic. So now new objective, produce 5 factories in assembly plant. So that's cool. I've kind of started working on that. It also unlocks you items every time. So you can see here, that's the unlocked items that we had. Now, this is the unlocked items that we can basically create, or you can find sometimes. And you can see how much each produces. So production process duration, for example, here is 20. You can optimize this. Basically, right now, what I just do is I just look at whatever is on the depot. If there is on the depot too much, it means that we are producing too much and so on. That's just basic common sense. I think I've found that you just place 6 around, and 6 usually is a good number. It optimizes pretty well the amount of production that you're having. All right, and we've copied and pasted basically this entire system. So you can see this one, for example, is creating extractors. Now we've got here creating the depots. The factories are being created here. You can see we already have 4. And then we actually have new assembly plants that are going to be created. You can see these are a little bit longer because these require different materials. You can see just by clicking here, not even clicking, just hovering around, what exactly the materials are necessary. The resources are here, a mechanical part. In order to make a mechanical part, you need first the steel bars and then turn them. So I need 2 factories right now, which is a little bit longer, and level is complete. Our scientific team has developed a way to produce concrete from the sulfur regolith found here. Your cities will need this concrete to grow. So new objective, reach a total population of 20. Interesting. So I need to build a supply center in contact with a city and bring it the resources it requires so the city can grow. Fair play. So if I do go, for example, on one of my cities, you're going to see now, if I click on it, it's going to say what does it need? New Chicago needs concrete. And in order to get concrete, actually, there's loads and loads and loads of work to get there. I'm going to need to use the trucks to go and bring the concrete all the way. But how do we create concrete? That is the question. Well, concrete actually comes from sulfur. And sulfur is right here. We can see it at least right here. And we are basically going to go ahead and copy paste what we've been doing. And if you want to know some really cool facts, you can actually get a selection going. Let's try and select all of these guys. There we go. We go copy, and then boom, we can go ahead and bring it all the way over here and just paste that. And that is that done. Boom. In 2 seconds, that was done. Then we just got to make sure it picks up the sulfur. Boom, pick up the sulfur. And then you can go ahead and transform the sulfur into concrete. Here you pick up the concrete, and then right inside of here, we actually don't need, sorry, an assembly plant. I mean, we can create supply centers. We can create, oh no, we do. We need to create roads first. All right, so we have now our trucks being built right now. And we also have over there with the sulfur, we have roads. We also got a supply chain. I'm not too sure, supply center, what, I'm not sure what it's going to be useful for, but we might as well keep it for the moment. And now what we're going to need is to go ahead and find a place nearby, for example, New Chicago. First of all, we're going to do something very important. We're going to click on this little thing right here. This map is going to show you where water is going to spawn later on. These are rivers, basically. So you can see all the rivers that are going to spawn nearby New Chicago. Sometimes you have lakes as well. For example, here you can see this is a lake. So this is the highest level that water will achieve, will raise up to later on into the game. So what we don't want is to build wherever there is water, because potentially, well, there is going to be water there, and it's basically going to make all our equipment, all our materials sink. So you can see this is good because Chicago, it means we could potentially just go ahead and build it. Has at least a good amount of space. Also means we can make a link from this little point all the way down there. Okay, and we're just continuing right now. We placed basically whatever we wanted to create concrete, which is great. So we've got concrete being built right here, and it should arrive on this depot right there. And what we're going to do now is we are going to link up our city to here. So you can see here, boom, you just move around close to your city. Wherever you want to start it off, I think I'll bring it maybe to here, right here. And then we're going to be putting some trucks down from this point, I believe, all the way to here. And so we're going to have a truck who's going to pick up the concrete and go all the way down here. You can see him running around. Well, no, strolling around, chilling, all the way down to here. Thing is, we don't have a depot. So we need a depot, first of all, to go ahead and pick it up. And the supply center is going to come in handy. We're going to place it here. And then that's going to pick up the concrete, which is going to give it to New Chicago. And basically New Chicago, I mean, you're going to see the population slowly rise up. One little issue is that we don't have enough trucks. There's only one truck at a time. So what you can just do is you can click there, and then you can bring the amount of trucks up. You can see the number available right now. I'll just put 5 for the moment. That should be enough. You don't want them to go too fast, right? And you can see it takes 30 days for just the supply to move on. All right, and you can see I've rearranged a little bit just to make it a bit smoother. I've put 2 supply chains as well, and we have a new house right here. So the city of New Chicago is evolving, guys. We've moved up to 11 population. Fantastic. I heard one thing is that you do need to upgrade the cities at the same time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade New Dallas and New Bogota as well in the meantime. All right, and I didn't even have time to build for New Dallas yet, but apparently we've moved on to a new level, and the cities will need oxygen. So we're going to move on to that. New objective, reach a total of 50 population. Okay, easy peasy. Just moving on step by step. All right, and my 3 cities are connected. New Chicago. Well, I don't know why it's green, but it's growing. That's why. It must be very, very happy. One thing I've noticed, for example, New Chicago, if you click on the water, I don't know what it's called, this interactive map, you can see that it's quite surrounded by loads and loads and loads of rivers and so on. So it's not going to be insane to develop. I'm going to try and block it off, I think, from the south. But New Bogota is even worse. Look at that. So New Bogota's got like literally a lake next to it. So what I've done already is I've already placed some supplies right here. I know they're not connected to the city yet, but I'm going to go ahead and make a big wall of them so I can force the city to grow in this direction. And let's not even talk about New Dallas here. New Dallas literally has a river next to it. So I'm going to have to force the push all the way towards the mountains as well here. It's going to be tough, but we're going to hope we can make it. Okay, and apparently New Chicago's needs have changed. So I'm going to go ahead and press 3 to go to my 3rd city. And we're going to click on the supply center, and it's going to tell me I need oxygen now. So not only do I need concrete for it to develop, but I also need oxygen. And you can see the city supply is going down. It's limited, and the status is stable, but it's not perfect yet. And in order to create oxygen, I'm going to need some atmospheric extractors. For that, mechanical parts and aluminum bars. So we're going to go and actually use up our aluminum that we hadn't actually done anything with it yet. And we're going to create some bars. We're going to be spitting some bars right here. Let's go ahead and create that. Create another one as well. Rotate it around a little bit. There we go. That's created. Super easy, super simple. Once you get the rhythm of it, I think it goes very, very quickly. You can even accelerate the process so that your ores are being picked up and transformed into bars. What I do need, though, is the mechanical parts. And we know mechanical parts, we are creating some right here. For example, there's way too many that are stored. I think I've got too many that are being constructed for the pace of this. But all right, so we've connected our iron ores or mechanical parts that we are creating with a line, nice line, straight line, some trucks, and of course, bringing it all the way to the bars. We put 2 assembly points, and you can see it's kind of optimizing it, double efficiency, and we are creating atmospheric extractors. We've also just upgraded a level. They've invented a stronger concrete, which is going to be necessary. We've also unlocked lots of items: polymer, reinforced concrete, depot level 2. So I think this is a level 2 depot, and instead, yeah, you can see, so it picks up. This is much more efficient than these individual ones. It picks up from a much bigger radius. So we're going to try and upgrade all of these guys, and we can kind of store away these individual these individual single depots. And in order to get those what do you call them, these MK2s, I think they're called, we need polymer bars. They're going to be created with what we just built, which is the atmospheric extractors. Here we can create carbon, and with the carbon we should be able to go ahead and pick it up and then transform it with a little little factory straight into a polymer bar. We can place that down right here, for example, and then we place another factory or an assembly point, to go ahead and create a depot. That's how it is, as simple as that. And you can see we're getting our first depot level 2. Fantastic. We're gonna go ahead and go back to Chicago because Chicago needs oxygen. So right now it's not developing itself, or it's almost poorly developed itself. You can see it's gone down to 50%. Okay, guys, and we have basically now created with our atmospheric extractors, we've made them go ahead and develop oxygen. Now we've kind of split it up a little bit better as well, a little bit more even. So you got concrete, and then you got oxygen that gets deposited here, and then boom, the oxygen can be taken into here, and then that just creates a new city. And you can see, not the new city, it just evolving the city. Chicago goes back into green mode as well, which is fantastic. We're gonna go and repeat this on Bogota and Dallas as well to go ahead and get 3 stable cities. All right, it's time to start terraforming. Our ultimate goal: make this planet suitable for life, oceans, and so on. First off is to raise the temperature with some gas. So we've already reached 100 of the population. You can see New Chicago is slowly evolving step by step, and I might need to go ahead and continue directing it, because remember, where was the water levels? Directing it in a certain direction. Okay, and we've decided to create, it's a little bit of a mess, and for you guys who would like to optimize, I'm just trying to test in the game out for the moment. So we are creating now some greenhouse gas generators, and I believe the greenhouse gas generators is what's going to bring our temperature up, because as you can see for the moment, it is negative 58 degrees Celsius. That is very, very rough. The aim, I think, is to bring it, you can see, to 0 or to minus 20 so that we can get some water going, and then all the way up to 10 where it's going to be the maximum level where the water rises. And in order to go ahead and make these work, we're going to need fluorite, which is this little thing right here. But one thing is we also need sulfur. So what I'm going to do is build them not too far off this little legend and basically go ahead and create some extracting points. Okay, and here we go. I've just linked up the sulfur right up top here with some fluorite. Fantastic. And we got the greenhouse gases basically that is being spread out. It's pollution technically. It looks like it. It looks like I'm polluting my planet. This visually don't look that good. But you can see the temperature is rising. My cities are struggling a little bit in the meantime. I'm going to get back to them in a second, of course. But yeah, so this is how you bring the level up. And you can see we are going to negative 57 degrees Celsius so far. So far, so good. We're definitely not going to have enough of resources right now, of fluorite. But we will find another spot. This was probably the closest spot we could get so that we could use up the least amount of roads possible. All right, we've added a couple more trucks in because it does seem like there is too much going on right now. So it's just being left off on the floor, the resources, and level is complete. There we go. 1 degree is up. Well done. Terraforming is in progress. Here on Earth, we invest heavily and make good progress to fight climate warming, but it's not easy. If things were turning bad, a terraformed Nagoya 412F would ensure the survival for humanity. It's our plan B. We hope our work is good. Let's move on to high-tech parts. Okay, so we're gonna get high-tech parts unlocked. We're gonna go back to our cities. We'll let kind of this run on its own, and we're gonna go back to our cities and see what's going on over there, because it seems like they've been struggling a little bit. So why are they struggling? They're struggling because now this requires reinforced concrete instead of concrete. So I don't need to be making all this useless concrete anymore. And you can see that the trucks are queuing up because they can't even place any down, since every single one of the platforms is completely full. And in order to make reinforced concrete, we need concrete and steel bars. So we know the steel bars come from iron ore. So what we're gonna have to do is look for some iron not too far off our cities, which isn't great because that means we need to build basically more now, not train tracks but roads. Okay, New Bogota is back into the works. I've created all of this. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in more supplies. I know they're not for the moment being used up, but it's okay. It's normal. It makes complete sense. But you can see, so our reinforced concrete, or concrete, is being brought here and then brought with the steel bars mixed up to make reinforced concrete, which is then being sent on these platforms and then sent out there. It's a little bit darker to normal concrete, but it is what is necessary for New Bogota, at least, who is growing at 100% pace and satisfactory city supplies. So fantastic. All right, we've kind of fixed all our cities in terms of reinforced concrete, but you're going to see now they're still not going green. Why is it? Because actually we have, for example, Bogota now requiring high-tech parts as well. So we've upgraded the high-tech parts, and I'll show you guys how we get to that now. We also have a fantastic little skyscraper here or something like that. Hello, New Bogota. You are looking very pretty today. Now, in order to get polymer, we're going to need, unfortunately, aluminium. And that is bad news, because if you look at this region, for example, around New Bogota, we only have this little section that potentially has aluminium, so that's going to be a bit annoying. All right, and here we go. It's pretty much working right now. So we got this right now. We've got our atmospheric extractors creating carbon, going into the factories to go ahead and create polymer. Polymer is going to be placed down onto here. It doesn't even have time to get placed. I apologize for that because it's just going way too quickly. We could create some extra factories, to be fair, and that's just going to create some high-tech parks, which you can see all around here. Now the issue is going to be that we're going to need basically a road to connect us from this point all the way to our city. Yes, it's very annoying. The problem is we can't go through mountains, so I'm going to connect for the moment this one to New Chicago. That's going to be the first little step, and that's how we're going to get our high-tech parts all the way here. It's a bit of a mess. It's very chaotic. I don't know if any trucks are already on the road. Let's go and check it out. Okay, we've got a truck already on the road. It's a bit of a trek to get all the way here. It's a lot of a trek, actually, to get all the way here. But this brings us the parts here, and we're just going to connect them with extra depots right around and basically just kind of send it to all of these supply chains. And we're moved on to another level. So we already have 300. The cities are getting bigger, of course. The resources are flowing. Okay, we got metal waste disposal, and recycling center. Okay, so this is going to be related directly to the cities. You can see our population is on 300. They're explaining it to us how to recycle. Little bit hectic, I do believe. Chicago's running super smoothly. Dallas, we're about to connect them with a, what do you call them? With the polymer So we can create the high-tech technology, high-tech parts, please. And the city is developing nicely. I mean, not in a way that I wanted to develop, but it's developing. So New Dallas has been connected, which is fantastic. It should be going back up now that the high-tech parts are coming in. You can see the city supply is coming into 89%. Status is stable as well. Population is growing kind of quickly. I think the population is quite even across all my cities. Chicago has, 106 of a population. Not too bad. Bogota is kind of stuck on 102 now. I'm trying to find a way to bring high-tech parks in, but I can't. Bogota is just cut off from all aluminum. If you look at it, I connect this road here all the way to somewhere else. Oops. There we go. Let me just select it better. If I wanted to connect to Bogota, it goes all the way across half of the map. Look at this. It's literally going through this entire section. And there's no other close aluminum kind of section that I can't really find. There's one here. But again, if you look at it, and it connected this way to this way, look how far this is. And population is going up. One thing you're going to notice, though, is that we do have some waste that we're going to be noticed. Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed it. I haven't noticed it yet, technically. But we do have these waste disposals that we are going to go and try and create. All right, and we are creating now some, as you can see, assembly plants. Well, we've placed down some assembly plants, and we are creating with these assembly plants some recycling centers and some waste disposal. So we're getting ready for basically the city that's going to need all of this, because I do believe it is a requirement eventually on the long run. So you can see New Chicago already. Why is it struggling? We got to check it out here. So I just noticed why it was struggling. It was missing some trucks. So I've just added an extra 15 in there to go ahead and pick up the high-tech parts, which is great. I could even add a couple more. So that's one thing also you always got to keep an eye on. So you can see, for example, that these are loading, vehicles estimated, they can load 40 at a time. The estimated annual capacity is 40. So that's kind of perfect, I think. I mean, I could add a couple more. Why not? So right now we have an estimated of 55. So it's creating 45, and we are, the road is picking up 55. So that's pretty cool. And the thing is, of course, the longer the distance, the more you want, like the more trucks you want. We've just completed a level, by the way. Time's just flying by slowly but surely. We get limited funding from Earth, from our labs here. But we were able to perfect an automated train. So we've upgraded to trains, apparently. Trails and railroads is basically the next kind of level. So it means these roads are going to be not useless, but I'm probably going to upgrade them to train tracks in order for my traveling to go just a lot faster, because the transportation right now is really slow, as you can see. And the map is so big that it's just a necessity. And you can see New Dallas now already struggling as well, because it's got insufficient waste disposal. So what we have to create now that we've created our... Ooh, we don't have any recycling centers. Again, we didn't have enough recycling centers because the concrete wasn't being sent, as we didn't have enough trucks. I've just placed 1 million trucks right there. So the ad is going to be created. The recycling center is going to be created, and so is the waste disposal. And now we've got a couple. So now we're going to be able to place them down. Okay, and you can see, so this is starting to pick up some metal waste. What we're going to do is bring it up on a depot, and then we are going to put it into a recycling center, and we're just going to create steel bars. So now we have steel bars that are going to be created out of the waste from our city, which is fantastic, right? This is a very eco-friendly business that we have right here. Now we got to retake the steel bars basically and reuse them into whatever we want to be using them. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy this into every other city that we have. All right, and we're slowly but surely copying this. You kind of realize, I think, throughout this game, one thing that I'm noticing as I'm moving on to level 9, let's pause it for a second. You get a city that goes in green. So it means, for example, right now, New Chicago is going super well. You can see a couple of skyscrapers starting to build up. I don't know how high these guys go, but they go very high, I do believe. We got Dallas as well right now, who's in white. So apparently it was running well a couple seconds ago, and now it's not anymore. So I got to go and check up. City supply is limited. So I'm probably missing out on something, which is clearly at the moment oxygen. So for example, I don't have enough atmospheric extractors. I'm just going to go ahead and rebuild a couple just around, fill up the gaps. That might just help out just enough, you know, to go and do that work as the level is complete. And we move on to level 10 as we unlock a second. We have developed new greenhouse gas NF3. So we were producing SF6, but apparently NF3 is probably going to be more efficient. And also we've unlocked, I believe, plastic waste. So not only now we have metal waste, but we also have plastic waste that is going to be unlocked. We've hit 1,000 population, which is fantastic. I don't know how far this goes, and so far I think a good test. I'm very happy with how Planet B Terraform has turned out to be. But you do kind of feel like, for example, my city here, New Bogota, it is stuck on 102, and because I can't bring any high-tech parts, by the way, this is completely stuck because all of this is completely full. I can't bring any high-tech parts, or it's very far at least. I'm gonna try and connect in the second episode, probably like this aluminium right there, bring it all the way. But it does mean that your spawn matters a little bit, if not a lot, on many factors. But we've hit 1,090 to be exact. I hope you guys enjoyed this little first video, little introduction to Planet B. I don't know how far we'll go into the series, if there's gonna be more videos or not about it, but I am enjoying this game. It's a lot of optimization. There's a lot of work that I'm doing also outside of this video. Probably cut out a lot of parts. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, as I say, hope you guys enjoyed it. Check out the description, join up the Discord. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share my video around, share my channel around, and I will see you guys next time.